morning muscles. It's Mr. Fallon. Today's Tuesday, and welcome to Good Morning Muscles. I am so excited that you're here joining us today. Boys and girls, remember, Good Morning Muscles is your daily Kickstarter for what's going to be an amazing day. It's uploaded on It's Mr. Fallon's YouTube page every single day at 6 a.m. Wake up as soon as you get up, turn on Good Morning Muscles, do it, and just kick off your day in the best way possible. Make it part of your daily routine, just like you brush your teeth and you eat your breakfast in the morning. You do Good Morning Muscles. You'll get so strong, have so much fun. Hey, let's get this show started. Come on now. Alright, it's time to get warmed up, and we're doing our sumo warm-up today. Remember to make yourself a sumo. Take your pillow, stuff your pillow onto your shirt, give yourself a nice big belly so you look like a sumo wrestler. And last week we worked on some sumo drumming. We're doing it again. Alright, let's start out first round. Just drum on your belly any way you want to. And you can stand there and drum on your big belly any way you want to. And now let's bob a little bit. Bend our knees and sway back and forth. You can do it really fast, you can do it really slow. And now we're going to move to a step touch. Let's see if I can back up so you can see what my feet are doing. This is a step touch. And again, keep banging your big drum any way you want to for this round. And now let's see if we can march and bang our drum. Keep banging it. Drum it even louder. And faster. And keep it up. Keep marching. And drumming. Alright, and stop. My arms are tired. Why is it good that my arms are tired? Come on, muscles, you know why. It means my arms are getting stronger, yeah! Alright, our next round. We're gonna do 2 drums with this hand. 1 drum with this hand. Just stand still. 2 with this hand, 1 with this hand. And now let's try to bob a little bit. And now a step touch. Head bob and step touch. Wow, we're doing so many things at once. We are getting so talented. And now let's march. Still 2 with this hand, 1 with this hand. Keep it going. Stop! Woo! 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 Alright. We're going to do 1 last round. Let's get those arms loosened up for our final round. Alright. We're now going to try 3 with this hand. 2 with this hand. 3 with this hand. 2 with this hand. Standing there. Woo! Mr. Fallon's arms still tired. Alright, here we go. 3 and 2 and 3 and 2. Ready, set, go. Just stand there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. now, little Bob. And now it's stepped up. Ooh, this is tough. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. And now let's march. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on, a couple more muscles. Finish strong. All right, Dan, to finish things up, a big drum beat on your big belly and finish. Ooh. Time for Spot Run Story Time. We're reading Wayside School's Falling Down. We're on chapter 4. It's called Homework, and I know you're going to love this chapter because I know you love homework. Mrs. Jules was teaching the class about fractions and decimals. She explained that 0.5 was the same as 1/2. Mac raised his hand. Mrs. Jules pretended not to see him. Ooh, ooh, Mac groaned as he stretched his hand so high that it hurt. Mrs. Jules pretended not to hear him. Jenny raised her hand. Yes, Jenny, asked Mrs. Jules, glad to call on anyone besides Mac. Mac has his hand raised, said Jenny. Thank you, Jenny, muttered Miss Jules. Yes, Mac, what is it? I couldn't find one of my socks this morning, said Mac. Man, I looked everywhere in my closet, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, but I just couldn't find it. I asked my mother, but she hadn't seen it either. That's very interesting, Mac, said Mrs. Jules. But what does that have to do with decimals? Because, said Mac, I could only find half of my socks. Oh, right, said Mrs. Jules. Does anybody else have a question about decimals? Yes, John? Did you look under your bed, asked John. That was one of the first places I looked, said Mac, but it wasn't there. Did you check the dirty clothes, asked Ron. Maybe it was never washed. I checked, said Mac. Do you have a dog? Asked Phoebe. Maybe your dog took it. No, my dog doesn't wear socks, said Mac. Why didn't you just put on a different sock? Asked Allison, even if it didn't match. I thought of that, said Mac. See, but then if I wore a sock that didn't match, I'd be left with only one sock of that color for tomorrow. And then if I wore that sock, I'd have to wear a sock that didn't match with it. And so on for the rest of my life. I would never wear matching socks again. Well, be that as it may, said Mrs. Jewls, we really need to get back to decimals. Yes, Stephen. Once I had both of my socks on, said Stephen, but I wasn't wearing any shoes. My mom had just waxed the floor, too. I slid all around on it like I was skating. It was a lot of fun until I fell against the kitchen table and broke 2 dishes. Then I got in trouble. What's that got to do with my socks? Mac asked. Stephen shrugged. Did you ever find your other sock? Asked Leslie. Yup, said Mac, but you'll never guess where. In the refrigerator. He held out his arms in bewilderment. How did it get there? No one knew. See, here it is, said Mac. He climbed on top of his desk so everyone could see his feet. He pointed to his left foot and said, This is the sock I had in the beginning. He pointed to a sock on the right and said, And this is the sock I couldn't find. His socks were red with gold lightning bolts down the side. Ooh, hot socks, said Mauricia. No, it was cold after being in the refrigerator, said Mac, still standing on top of his desk. I made up a song, too, while I was looking for it. You want to hear it? He sang, I got one sock, looking for the other. One sock, looking for its brother. When I find that sock, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it on my foot, and I'll stick it in my shoe. The bell rang for recess. Since we didn't finish the arithmetic lesson, said Mrs. Jewls, you'll have to do the rest of it for homework. All the kids groaned as they headed outside. After recess was science. Mrs. Jewls was teaching the class about dinosaurs. She told the class that there were 2 types of dinosaurs. Those that ate meat and those that ate only vegetables. You mean like broccoli? Asked Rondi. I don't think they had broccoli back then, said Mrs. Jewls. Just as there were different kinds of animals back then, there were also different kinds of vegetables. Mac raised his hand. Mrs. Jewls pretended not to see him. Ooh, ooh, Mac groaned. He looked like he was going to explode. Mrs. Jewls pretended not to hear him. She called on Myron. Mac has his hand raised, said Myron. Thank you, Myron, muttered Mrs. Jewls. Yes, Mac. My uncle grew the biggest watermelon you ever saw in your whole life. Man, it was huge. It was so heavy I couldn't even lift it. Mac, what does that have to do with dinosaurs? Asked Mrs. Jewls. Because that must have been the kind of watermelon the dinosaurs ate, said Mac. Did you eat it? Asked DJ. Not at all, said Mac, shaking his head. Whew, it was too big for me, and I love watermelon. What did it taste like? Asked Mauricia. Delicious, said Mac, but lots of seeds. You shouldn't eat the seeds, otherwise a watermelon might grow inside your stomach. I once heard about a lady who was so fat that everyone thought she was going to have a baby, but she didn't have a baby. She had a watermelon. Was it a boy or a girl? Asked Joy. Everyone laughed. Mrs. Jewls never finished her lesson about dinosaurs, so she had to assign it for homework. After school, Mac walked home with his girlfriend, Nancy. Nancy's class was on the 23rd floor of Wayside. Mac carried his arithmetic book, his science book, his spelling book, his language book, and his spelling book. Nancy didn't have any books. I'll carry your books for you, Mac, she offered. Mac gave Nancy his books. Don't you have any homework, he asked. She shook her head. Man, it's unfair, said Mac. Mrs. Jewls assigns more homework than any other teacher at Wayside School. That was hilarious. Boys and girls, our steps for today. And tomorrow in Good Morning Muscles, we're going to hear another story about socks. Huh? So do you like jokes? I like jokes. Here's something for people that like Jokes. Why did the banana go to the doctor's? It wasn't peeling well. I bet if you didn't like jokes before, now you love them. Game time! Come on now! Alright, this week for game time we are working on some rolling and some bowling games. Mr. Fallon's turning the camera a little bit lower so we can see. Remember, yesterday on Good Morning Muscles, we worked on bowling our ball, trying to hit our jug. What level did you make it to? When Mr. Fallon played yesterday, I made it all the way to level 11. I had to go outside, and then when I made it to level 11, I tried rolling it, but the grass just kept stopping it. But it was so much fun. Did you beat level 11? That's pretty good. Let's review what we learned yesterday for rolling. We talked about we don't want the ball to bounce. When we roll the ball, we want to keep it right on the ground. So to do that, we put it by the side of our knee, step, we bend, and we roll, trying to keep our ball right on the ground. We don't want it to bounce. Let's try that again. Ball by the outside of our knee, step, bend, and roll. Keeping it right on the ground. We don't want it to bounce. Now today, what we're going to do is we're going to do another rolling game. And for our rolling game today, we're going to try to roll it off the wall and catch it when it comes back. Now there's something tricky about this. When it comes back, if you roll it on the ground, it's going to come back to you right on the ground. What we want you to do is we want you to bend your knees when you try to catch the ball like this and try to catch the ball like this. Don't bend at your waist. Some people will try to catch it like this, where you'll bend at your waist. Instead, try to bend at your knees. Notice the difference. This is correct. This is incorrect. If your legs are straight, you're doing it incorrect. If your knees are bent, you are doing it correct. So we're going to see if you're able to bend your knees and catch it when it comes back. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's get started. Mr. Fallon's all ready to go. Are you all ready to go? Put the ball by the outside of my knee. Step, bend, and roll. And I'm going to sit down, bend my knees, and catch it. Here we go again. Roll it nice and low. And bend my knees and catch it. And catch it. Bending my knees when I catch it. Oh, it didn't bounce back to me. All right. Rolling it on the ground and catching it. And I can catch it with one hand. I can catch it with two hands. I can catch it with this hand. I can catch it with this hand. But every time I roll it, I'm going to bend down so that it stays right on the ground. Now Mr. Fallon's going to try to challenge himself. I'm going to now roll it over at an angle that way. And then after I roll it, I'm going to slide, bend my knees, and catch it. Let's see how it looks. Ball by the outside of my knee. Step, bend, and roll. I'm going to come over here, bend my knees, and catch it. Now I'm over here. I'm going to roll it that way. Slide over there, bend my knees, and catch it. Ball by the outside of my knee. Step, bend, and roll. Slide over here, bend my knees, and catch it. Here we go again. Bend my knees, and catch it. Step, bend, and roll. Oh, this is so much fun. And I can do two hands. I can do one hand. Whatever I would like. Sliding back and forth and catching. Boys and girls, that's a super fun game. What you also can do is if you have somebody at home, you can try to roll it to them. They could try to bend their knees, and then they could roll it back to you. It's also another fun game to do. Also, awesome game to play outside. It's very fun to play with something on your hand. Yeah, maybe your baseball or softball or t-ball man. So much fun. Do it. All right, great job today. This was such a great time. Boys and girls, remember, come back tomorrow morning, same time, and join us again for Good Morning Muscles. We're going to be working on so many new things tomorrow. Hustle warm-up tomorrow. We'll see if you can out-hustle Mr. Fallon. And we have a special skee ball game. If you know what skee ball is, you'll know that you're in for a fun game. If you don't know what skee ball is, maybe you can look it up and figure out what it is. Or just wait till tomorrow. In the meantime, boys and girls, get outside, practice, play a bunch, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Muscle!